Hi everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedy Royal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. And today we're going to be doing my favorite eyeshadow look of all time. It's this halo inverted rainbow eye. I don't know what convoluted title I'm going to give it on the video, but it's one of my favorites. I have recreated it year after year, hair color after hair color, and it's super special because there's not another eyeshadow look I want to show you on my birthday. Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedy Girl, also known as birthday girl. So thanks so much for joining me on my birthday. Also, thank you for 44,000 subscribers. We are in the car, buckled up, seatbelt on, hand on the wheel, on our way to 50,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for coming along for the ride. Before we get into the look today, let me just give you this warning because I care about you. You're gonna want to do your eyes before your face, okay? Because if you do your eyes after your face, there's gonna be a lot of fallout, right? We're gonna be using a lot of bright colors. There's gonna be a lot of blending, of course. You come to a Raggedy Royal eyeshadow tutorial, you know there's gonna be a lot of blending, but there's gonna be a lot of fallout underneath the eye, and I'd rather you just, be able to wipe it all away and then put your base on than having to figure out how to get all of that fallout from messing up your setting powder and your under eye concealer. So there's your warning. Do your eyes before your face. Let's get into this video. If at any point you enjoyed this video, you learned something new, please give it a like, comment down below, and subscribe and stick around and see more videos like this. But I'll let you, test the product first. I'm not going, you don't have to make a commitment now. Just keep on watching. Let's get into the tutorial. Okay, hi, it's Editing Lauren here. So my clip of me telling you how I prime the eyes, all of that looks so crazy. It looks like it's literally from a different day, in a different studio with different lighting, with different, it's just a mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eyeshadow Primer per the always. If you're not new to this channel, you could probably already guess that because I love this primer. It is super, super light. You wanna use a light primer when you use these vivid colors like this because it gives the bright eyeshadows the best chance to show up as true to pan as possible. True to pan means what they look like in the palette. Think about coloring on a white sheet of paper versus like a tan or a gray sheet of paper. The white sheet of paper is going to look most like what it looks like, in the crayon. So you want to give it a nice even base with a very light eyeshadow primer. If you don't have one, a light concealer. Let's get into the tutorial. We're going to start with a Morphe M456. Sometimes in these eyeshadow tutorials, I go from the brow bone to the lash line. So I blend down towards the crease. Sometimes I add the crease shade first and blend up towards the brow bone. Today we're going to be starting at the crease and blending upwards. So we're going to start with the more taper brushes, and as we go up the eye, you'll see me use the fluffier brushes. These more taper brushes, what they're going to do is they're going to really pack that color on, and you want that color packed into the crease. Why? Because you want the crease to be the deepest, the darkest part of the eye, especially in a cut crease. We'll be doing a cut crease today because that dark shade, that depth will contrast against the light on the lid. But yes, that's why we're going to be using this brush first. So this is a Morphe M456. As you can see, it is nice and tapered. We're going to be going into the Bright 2.0 palette, specifically into that dark purple shade Throne. And now we're going to go into the crease. Where is the crease? So your crease is when you look up, that line, that's your crease, right? However, your crease may look different than mine. That's cool. They come in different shapes and sizes. So if you can't figure out where your crease is, you can go halfway from your brow bone to your lash line. Your lash line is where your lashes are. So going halfway there, we're going to be about here. That's where your crease is. You're going to start on the outer corner of the crease, and you're going to go halfway towards the tear duct. So just halfway, because half of this eye will be blended with the warm colors and half will be blended with the cool colors. So when you use a lot of rainbow eyeshadow colors, if you watch my rainbow cut crease tutorial, you've heard me talk about this, or really any time where I'm using a lot of colors, one of the most important things is mapping out your space. So that's why we're only going to go about halfway in right now, because we're being mindful and why we were invited to the cut crease, and being mindful about the other side that will have to go there. So I'm just packing this color on nice and dark. I'm blending it out just a smidge. You can see the small circle motions. Also, y'all, we have a microphone now. Well, we always had a microphone, I just couldn't find it. So let me know if you like this audio compared to the other videos. I very much appreciate the feedback. Now I'm gonna go in with the same brush, right? I'm just gonna use a different brush. Say for example, you're like, I don't have that many brushes. That's absolutely cool. What I do sometimes is I'll take a towel and I'll wipe it off and go to the other side. The only thing is you want to use your lighter colors before your darker colors. I'm going to go use a different brush just so I can show you where colors go where and you're not getting confused. But I'm going to take another Morphe M456 and I'm going to go into the dark blue shade. Now, this is shade Infinity. And I'm going to go from the tear duct to where we blended that purple, also in the crease. So I'm just filling in that other half. And although the colors will be segregated for now, I am going to blend in a little bit with that purple. I'm not scared about going over that purple because as you will see, as we blend more colors, as we add more colors, it will come together, right? So this is a good way to just kind of start getting the eye to look harmonious. Yes. Now, I'm going to be taking a Morphe M433. As you can see, I said we're going to get into fluffier brushes as we go up the eye. This brush that we use for the crease is more tapered than this one. So we're starting to get fluffier and fluffier. I'm going to take this Morphe M433 and we're going to go into these hot red pink shades here. So this red shade Wild and this Circus and Velvet. This is basically the same color, just has a different undertone. We're going for a hot pink, almost red. And I'm going to blend right on top of where you blend that purple. So I'm moving up into the crease. I have no fear blending on top of that purple because that's how you get shades to blend together. If you're blending and you're blending like, oh, I gotta respect the boundary of the other color, that's not blending, right? So I'm not afraid to get on top of that purple and you may say, oh my gosh, I feel like I can't even see the purple anymore. I completely covered it with the hot pink. Don't worry, because if you've ever been to a Raggedy World tutorial, you know, we never just place a color once. We're going to go back. We're going to blend it. We're going to reinstate it. If you haven't been to a Raggedy World tutorial before, subscribe down below. We do this thing all the time. And that's a great birthday gift because this video will be posted on my 23rd birthday. So we're going to be making small circles, really concentrating this on that outside crease. As you can see, and maybe I should have noted it earlier, I even pulled my primer out a little bit past the line of my eyebrow just because I know this eyeshadow look is going to be big. I also have done this with the purple on the tear duct and the purple on the outside. I prefer the purple on the outside because we can blend it into the blush later. When I'm satisfied with that, we're going to go to the other side. We are going to be going into shade Jungle and Playground. Now, Jungle is very, very, very pigmented, okay? I found this out yesterday because this is my second time recording it. Technical difficulties, don't worry about it. But I learned my lesson. So light tap into Jungle and then going into Playground. Tap that off, get that excess going. And now we're going to blend on top of that green. Yes. Once again, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm covering the blue. Don't worry, we'll be back. Don't worry. Next, we're going in with an even fluffier brush. You guessed it. Boom. Fluff. Fluffier. You know those things like, I don't know how old you are, but Sesame Street said those things where it's like fluffy, fluffier, fluffiest, big, bigger, biggest. That's exactly how you want to think as you go up away from the crease. We're going to be taking, this is a Morphe M441, and we're going to be going into shade Calypso, which is this orange shade here. And we're going to be blending on top of that hot pink red shade. See, sunset, walk with me. And it may not look super blended now, but don't worry. That's the next step. I just kind of want to show you where the colors go first. I always find it easier to place the colors and then get to blending. Placing them lightly, of course. Don't place them so haphazard that you're like, oh God, there's no way I can blend this out. Don't do that. And I'm going to go into shade Playground. This is another fluffy brush. This is a TV brush. It doesn't have a name. But I'm going to go into the light greens here, the light green, that very pastel green. And I'm going to blend up above the green. Yep, going near that brow bone. So now I'm going to show you the last thing that we're going to place before we start blending. We're going to go into that ColourPop Matte About Hue palette. You know that I have completely demolished the yellow. In this palette, in most of my palettes, it's the first color in my eyeshadow palette to be used. What's the first color in your eyeshadow palette to be used? Like, you know, like I know a yellow hates to see me come in. Like, what color is that for y'all? Because I'm kind of curious. It's probably like a brown. I feel like it's usually like a transition shade of brown. But I'm going to take my tried and true BH Cosmetics brush that I had since middle school, and it's very, very fluffy. It is the fluffiest brush we have used yet. Don't worry, I'm pulling up the demonstration to prove it to you. Fluff. Okay, going into shade Bus Stop, which is this yellow shade here, and we are going to blend right in between the green and the orange. Now, in eyeshadow, in art, in life, when you want to blend two colors together that don't really blend together, a good way to find a way to do that is to blend a shade in between. So you're trying to blend red and blue, and you're like, this looks a hot mess. Add that purple, because purple will be right in between red and blue. It's a wheel, so like in between is kind of crazy, because if you're looking at the color wheel on a bar, you're probably like, that's not in between. Think of it like a wheel. Orange and green together, blend those together. You can do it. It would probably give mud. It would probably give brown. But you know what's right next to green? Yellow. You know what's right next to orange? Yellow. So that's a good compromise. It's a compromise color. And you see, that's what really brings this all together. If you have some space over here, you can also blend that yellow up there. You can also blend that yellow on the underneath of that brow bone. The yellow is what makes it harmonious. So now you can kind of see where we are going here. This is the entire eye with the colors, and now we're going to go back in and reinstate those. I'm going to start with that purple, so I'm adding in that purple. And when I say reinstate, I just mean repeat the steps that we did before. So we have that purple, and I'm probably going to do one side at a time. And when I say one side at a time, I mean I'm probably going to do the warm side, blend it out, and then do the cool side, blend it out, since it is two different color schemes. As you can see, I have no problem taking that purple and going over that blue, because we want that to be harmonious. So that's how you blend. Going in with that hot pink. And if when you were adding the yellow, you were like, oh my gosh, this is gonna like cover up everything. Every color can go over top of yellow. Don't worry. None of those colors are worried about being covered by yellow. You know, take their rightful places at this step right here. Orange. Now this is the part where you get your authority here. You may say, oh wait, I feel like this needs more pink. Like just now I put that orange on there and I was like, where did all the pink go? Go back in, add that pink. I'm here to give you the steps, right? And I'm so glad I am. So glad we're spending this time together. But I also am here to help you like learn to be able to think it through. I don't want you to be like, oh, I don't have a tutorial. Or I have a tutorial, but she didn't have the same mistake as me, so I can't figure this out. If you want to add more of a color, add more of a color. If you want to say, you know what, I see she's adding more green, but my green is good. It's your eye look. You got it. Your green is good. Confidence is really key in doing anything in life, but especially when coming to different makeup styles, especially for my beginners out there. Love my beginners. I try to explain everything as if you are a beginner and this is like your first time doing this sort of thing, just because I feel like that's an easy way to reach everybody. If you can reach the beginner, you can reach everybody. For the beginners and you're trying new things, that confidence will really, really matter. It's like the makeup can sense when you're scared of it. You know what I mean? You can't be scared of it. Gotta be scared of you a little bit. Like I said, yellows hate to see me coming. Because they know I don't mean no good. I'm finna tear the palette up. Going with the blues and the greens, making sure to get that crease nice and dark. We want our crease nice and dark and deep. You can even add a black shadow in the crease if you would like. I'm not going to do that today. But you want to get that nice and dark because when there's a very dark crease, once you cut it and you have those light shades on the lid, the contrast, that's what makes some cut creases look so sharp. Most cut creases look so sharp. You're like, oh my God, how does that cut crease look so sharp? Mine doesn't look so sharp. Add that dark shade in the crease. That's going to change your cut crease life right there. Because that contrast is what gives it that sharpness. Because you can have the sharpest, cleanest swipe ever on a cut crease. If your crease is not deep, it's gonna look shallow. It's not gonna look as sharp. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow looks of all time. Like, if I had to pick a tutorial to post my birthday, fun fact, this was not supposed to be posted on my birthday. It's supposed to be posted the day before I had it all. Like, I was editing and for some reason the camera just looked so fuzzy. I was like, I actually take a little bit too much pride in my work to post that. Standard of excellence, you know, as unto God. If I had to like post an eyeshadow look and I'm like, this would be my birthday look, like this look right here, it's classic. Now I'm gonna take some more of that primer. I like to put it on the back of my hand. Why? Because I like to disperse it nice and controlled like. Imagine if you squeeze it all on the, you know, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. This is too small for that. So I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand first to disperse it. And I'm going to go into the tear duct. And I'm gonna make one swoop, fast, quick, sharp line. Remember we were talking about confidence? Confidence is so important, especially for this part right here. I know some people go super duper slow on the crease, like that's their thing. They're like, oh, I'm gonna go so slow and get it so perfect. And I just don't find that a good use of time. Like, I don't find it a good use of time. I'd rather go quick and clean it up than go super duper slow and hold my breath and be all anxious. That's just not my relationship with makeup, my approach to makeup. I don't know anybody who does their best work scared, like in any capacity, ever. I'm going to start with this Morphe M124, and I'm going to go into that ColourPop shade. I'm going to go into Bus Stop, but I'm also going to a little bit of Elephant. Also, why is this pale yellow shade called Elephant? Anyways, I'm going to take that on the flat brush and I'm going to add it to the center of the lid. So if you've seen my Halo Eye tutorial, this is basically the same process that we do for the Halo Eye. It's just going to be a smidge different because we're placing a bunch of different colors and we're getting ombres in two directions. We're going to have yellow to dark blue and then we're going to have yellow to purple on the other side, just like when we blended above. As you can see, I'm patting, not swiping, because this is not only a matte shade, but a light matte shade. And what happens with light matte shades is that if you push them too hard, if you make them feel uncomfortable in any way, they will start to turn on you and separate and show all types of texture underneath. So we don't want that. I'm keeping it nice and careful near the crease. I don't want it to get all over the crease that we so nicely worked on. Boom. So there is your yellow. Now we're going to start the blending process. So I'm going to go in with that orange. I'm going to put the orange, I'm going to use the same flat brush. And I'm going to put the orange right on top of the yellow going out towards the purple. Because there's so many colors here, I would recommend using a small flat brush like I have here, or even smaller, because now we're going to really budget. You thought we were budgeting the crease, now it's going to really get to budgeting with space and colors. All right, now I'm going to go in with that red hot pink mixture that we had before to the right or towards that purple. With each shade, I'm covering up the previous shade just a little. Just a little. Earlier before I was saying that when you blend, you want to cover the last color that you just put up there. Same thing here, except for you're not doing the small circle motions and literally blending. How you blend right here on this part of the eye is by placing the colors over and over again. Like say for example, I want to go back in with a little bit more orange, right? After I just, went in with that hot pink, I'm going to add more orange now. And as you can see, that looks a little bit better than before. We're going to add some more yellow. It's going to be blended. Now I'm going to go in with that purple and really concentrate that into that outer corner. I can also take the Morphe M456 that we used before, that taper blending brush, and really pack that purple in. You can also blend, if you got any of the light colors, into the crease lightly. You can blend that too. Yes. Okay, let's do the other side. So once again, I'm going in with that flat brush. I'm going to use that light green shade first because that's what's closest to yellow on the color wheel. Also, I like to place, if I'm going to use the same brush for a bunch of different colors, I like to go with the light shade first because it's easy to go from light to dark. It's hard to go from dark to light. If I started with the dark blue and then I was like, oh, I'm going to do light green, like, okay, that's what you're saying. Your mouth is saying that. Let's see how it works out. Now I'm going to add a little bit of that dark green. I told y'all it was powerful. Look at it. And I barely went into it. And then lastly, that dark blue. So once I added that dark blue, I felt like that green disappeared a little bit. So I'm going to go back in and just go over the blue with the green. Then reinstating that light green. And now we're just blending till satisfied. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow now that all the colors are added. Since I added more yellow, I'm going to go in with a little bit more orange. Make it look blended. A little bit of that red. Hot pink. Using that blending brush to go over any yellow that went out of bounds. Light hands, gentle. And boom, that is the blend. Okay, cool. So I've done this eye. I'm gonna go do this eye and wipe off. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off this fallout. See, this is why at the beginning of the video I tell you to do your face after your eyes, because it's very easy now for me to go ahead and just wipe this off and then do my base makeup instead of having to wipe all my base makeup off and then restarting. If you want to know how to do my base, don't worry, I'm not leaving you hanging. I have a matte base routine and a dewy base routine in my base makeup playlist. I also have any part of the face that you want to know. So I have a blush 101, setting powder 101, setting spray 101, how I did my brows, if you're just looking at my brows this entire time. I have how I do my brows. I also have how I apply lashes, how the Waterline 101, we'll come back for the Waterline in a second for this look. How I do my lips, everything in my makeup foundationals and makeup tutorials playlist. So go check those playlists out. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off, finish this eye, and then we're going to come back for the bottom of the eye and how I incorporate it into the brush. Okay, so let's talk about the bottom of the eye. For the waterline, I use the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, of course. My favorite thing for a white waterline, and a small craft brush. Any small craft brush will do. Any small craft brush will do. You want it to be nice and small so that it can fit into the waterline, because the waterline is a very small, delicate place. So I'm going to put that onto the craft brush, and how I do it is that I go along the eye. So instead of going perpendicular, you don't want to go perpendicular. That is, first of all, unnecessarily scary. To be sticking a brush and you're looking at it and it's looking at you. People say all the time, like, how do you put things in your waterline? I'd be so scared. Yeah, this is scary. This, not so much. You're going along that waterline. I use the white because white's going to open up the eye. It's going to elongate the white of the eye. Open up the eye, especially with this heavy eyeshadow we have on the top of the lid. And we're going to put some more colors on the bottom of the lid. If you want to know more about how to apply things to your waterline, what colors give you what effect, what products I use my waterline, check my Waterline 101 video where I really get into it. It'll come up in the cards. Let's first do this inner corner and then do this bottom lower lash line. Next, we're going to move on to the inner corner. So I took the ColourPop Matte About Hue palette and I took this dome brush. This is a Morphe, just kidding. This is an Anastasia A14 brush. And I went into Bus Stop and Elephant. I love a dome brush in the inner corner because it just fits so perfectly. And then I'm going to just add that yellow right to the inner corner. If you find that the yellow gets too much on the blue, you're going to take, your blue brush from earlier or a little bit of blue on a flat brush. And you're just going to blend that down because the dark shades, blue is going to take out yellow every single time, so don't even get too stressed about that. Now we're pulling back out our flat brushes. This is a Morphe M124. And I'm going to go into shade Bus Stop and shade Elephant to start. And I'm going to go right into the lower lash line. What is a lash line? That's anywhere where your lashes live, right? So if your upper lash line at the top, that's where your top lashes are. And you have a lower lash line where your bottom lashes are. So I'm going to add this yellow right to the center of the lower lash line. We're kind of going for the same effect that the top of the eye has. I'm not too worried about yellow fallout because watch this. Big powder brush, swipe that right away. The Mad About Hue palette is a little bit more powdery than the Beauty Bay palette, so it has a little bit more fallout. Next, I'm going to take that light green and I'm going to put it right next to the yellow. Once that's placed, I'm going to take that darker green and I'm going to add it so gently, because we know it's powerful. We're not going to add the blue because we don't really have enough space. Generally, we don't have enough space. That's why we're not going to do the blue. On the other side, we're going to go in with that orange and that hot pink red mixture. And lastly, that purple. I'm going to take my big powder brush again and swipe this away. Try my best. And then I'm going to show you how I blend this eyeshadow into blush. This is one of my favorite things to do with any eyeshadow look. Anytime I can blend my eyeshadow into blush, I get excited. I get excited because that means that the face is going to look more cohesive. You can see this side compared to this side. It's just fun to do. It's dramatic. I love it. So we're going to go back in with those blending brushes from before. Remember these? We have our tapered brush. Our brush for the hot pink, our brush for the orange. We are going to go in with that tapered brush, a little bit of purple, not too much. Tap it off. Because purple on the face, not too much. What we're going to do is we're going to blend right here in this small area where there's already purple. We're just going to go ahead and blend, make that darker. Next, we're going to take that fluffier brush, the hot pink brush, and we're going to blend from where the hot pink is on the top of the eye all the way to the bottom. So we're making like a semicircle. I wouldn't even call it a semicircle. We're making some roundness here. We're going with the shape of the eye and of the face. Next, you guessed it, taking that fluffiest brush, and we're going in with that orange, and we're blending this all out. Earlier, I said that sometimes I do the sunset on the inner corner, sometimes I do the sunset on the outer corner. I prefer on the outer corner because I can do stuff like this. Honestly, if the sunset was on the inner corner and it was switched, I could just go from blue, green, yellow to orange to pink. Like I could make it work, but it's just something about when it's already orange, you could just. I'm going to take this Made by Mitchell, who are you? MF3 brush, just a blush brush. And I'm going to go into the Beauty Bakery Snackaroons blush. I think this company may have closed their doors recently, but I think they still sell this at Target. So I'm going to go into this orange blush. You can really even use orange eyeshadow. Most of my best blush looks ever have been mostly eyeshadow. So either way, but you're going to want to get a bigger brush. And I'm going to add orange all the way to the cheek and up to the temple. The reason why I do it up to the temple is that if you don't, it just looks like it's a weird cutoff on some of the angles. On some angles, it be snitching on you. So I'm going to add that orange, and I already was all the way blushed up, but you know, this is like technically not blush. This is really an extension of eyeshadow. And then that, my friends, is that. I'm going to quickly apply some mascara and put on my lashes. If you want to know how to apply faux lashes, don't worry. I'm not leaving you hanging. I would never do that. I'm not like that. Okay? If you want to know how to apply faux lashes, don't worry. I have a faux lash video, how to apply fake lashes. It'll pop up in the cards as well. You can watch that to know how to apply false lashes. I'm going to throw some on really, really quickly and head to the outro. All right, team. So here is the final look. Thank you so much for spending my birthday with me. I'm going to just count this as you celebrating my birthday with me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything, if you want to just stick around, you can give this video a like and subscribe down below. We're on our way to 50,000 subscribers. Thank you so much again for that big 44000. If you want to see more looks like this, you can check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Raggedy Royal, where I post more looks, more life. We're always doing something. On TikTok, I have the Summer Bucket List series where I try different foods, activities, fitness challenges, all types of stuff. We've done everything. We've become a runner. We've done a triathlon. We did 75 hard. We've been to every single fast food place in the country. It feels like last week I made bread from scratch. It's just always something. I also was welcome to the wonderful world of acai bowls lately. That was a bucket list item. Delicious. Anyways, if you recreate this look, please tag me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok so I can see the look, because that's one of the best parts about my job. As I've done this look so many times over so many years, I've seen recreations of this already, and it's always special. So go ahead and tag me over there so I can see it, so I can show you some love. You know what I mean? And that is all from me. Thanks so much for watching. That's it. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me.